Now that we have our buttons created, the graphic symbols are converted to the buttons. We're going to make some changes to make this look like these are animated. We are going to be working with the Align panel. Double-click the Shoes and Apparel button to edit the symbol in place. Click to select the artwork if it is necessary. And in the Align panel, make sure that we have Align to Stage checked. Click the Align Right Edge button. The right edge of the symbol artwork is now aligned to the symbol registration point. Because we're editing the symbol in place, we can see that the new alignment moved this. This illustrates that the registration point is fixed. The artwork is the thing that moves. The registration point does not. Click Scene 1 to go back to the main stage. With the Shoes and Apparel button selected, click the current X value in the Properties, and we're going to change it to 1034. The symbol registration point is that origin of measurements, and when we change the X position, we're defining where it's going to be located. We are 10 pixels past the right edge of the stage. We're going to use that position as the basis for changing all of the object's positions when the user moves the cursor over the button. So it's going to be triggering the over state. Double-click the Shoes and Apparel again. We're going to go back into the stage for the symbols. Put a new keyframe in the over. Remember, you can click that and you can either right-click and insert a keyframe, or you can use the F key. Click the current X value in the Properties panel. Let's find that. The current is a negative 235, and we're going to put in minus 10. That subtracts from the X position to move the object to the left. Now let's go back to Scene 1. Let's go to Control, Enable Simple Buttons, and when you run over the top of Shoes and Apparels, it jumps to the left. Let's turn that back off. And now you're going to do the same thing for the other 3 buttons. Double-click Home Furnishings to go into the editing mode. Select the alignment and give it a right align. Go back to Scene 1, select and position your X to 1034. Go back into the editing stage. Insert a keyframe on the over in the Properties panel. In the X value, put an insertion point in and subtract 10. Go back to Scene 1, double-click Music and Electronics, and do the same thing. It took me a minute to figure out why this one wasn't going to be working, but I accidentally had that object still set as a graphic instead of a button. As soon as I changed it to the button, it began working for me. I'm going to skip going through the organization for the folders. You can do that on your own. It's pretty clean cut. The only thing I will bring up is the fact that they want you to rename the one folder as buttons. There already is a buttons folder. It will not let you put in a second one, so name it something else like button singular or button 2 or whatever you want to do like that. And then you can just drag stuff around. It really isn't 100% necessary to do any of that, although you will eliminate the Illustrator files for the mouse, because once you have turned those into the symbols, you no longer need to have the actual drawings for those present. We're going to go on to stage 2 really quickly, working with the sound. We've got sound files that are going to be applied. Animate works with MP3s, WAV files, the AIF format, which is common on Macs, and AU files, as well as the QuickTime movie format. It's basically video, but sometimes it includes audio with it. We're going to be importing the sound files. So if you'll go to File, Import, Import to Library, and there is an audio folder. You want to select all of the files, open, and then in your library folder, create a new folder called Audio, and drag all of those files up and place them into the audio folder. Select the Atrium 3 Jazz. Oh, missed that. There it is. Okay. And you should have a play button where you can actually listen to this. It's pretty tiny. It's way up in the top corner. And it's really loud. Sorry about that. Select the first frame, that first keyframe in the background layer. In your Properties panel, there should be a sound section. You're going to select Atrium Jazz, and in the sync you want Event. Go to Control and select Test. Okay, it plays. In the menu, we're going to select Loop. If you press down your Control and Enter key, you should get it to play. It's just going to loop in infinity. We can edit the sound envelope to control the volume. Still working with that first background frame. We're going to go to the Properties panel, and in the sound effects we're going to select Custom to open the editing window. Click the Frames button to show the sound based on frames if this isn't already active. In the left channel area, which is the top waveform, click the handle on the left side and drag down to below the existing waveform. And then do the same thing for the right channel. We reduce the volume and we say OK to that. And now if we try playing, Control Enter, and that sounds much better. We're going to do some start and stop sync methods, and in the library panel we want to double click on the shoes button to enter the symbol editing mode. Select the overframe, and in the Properties panel under Sound, select the Shoes MP3. Set the sync to Event, and then click to go back to
Shoes and apparel. Shoes and apparel. Shoes and apparel.
Double click the shoes button icon in the library panel again. Select the over frame and change the sound sync to start. Select the down frame, click F6 to put in a keyframe, and in sound choose the shoes, and under sync choose stop. That's going to stop all the instances of the selected sound from playing. Now go back to scene 1 and
shoes and apparel.
When you click shoes and apparel the second time,
Shoes
it stops playing.
Shoes and apparel. Shoes.
If you double click it, it will cut it off. You're going to do the same process to the other buttons. So in the library panel, under the buttons, let's start with Home Furnishings. On the over, in the Properties panel, you're going to give the sound of furnishings. The sync is going to be start. You're going to put in a keyframe on down and selecting the same music. The sync is going to be to stop. You can go back and check this.
Home furnishings. Home shoe. Home.
And do the same for music and casual fine dining. When you're done, make sure they're
music
working.
And casual.
And then save your file.